Okay. Um, so I keep making a lot of videos because I understand that there'll be a time I cannot make videos, and so I want to continuously show the patterns of what they do. Something they've done to me is because they try to create battles and make me feel less and be doubtful of what's happening to me, because what they do to me is obvious, and I'm just so thankful to all the testimonials. But what they do is try to create battles where they say I'm gonna lose, because one, the way I'm thinking is in a way that is so childlike, is on a spectrum. But also they force me to think in certain ways that is wrong, so they be like, oh, you see, and they create battles where they are the one having this back and forth in my brain and influence my thoughts, and then be like, oh, it's wrong. So let me just reintroduce myself, because I understand, as much as this is for me to kind of vent out a little bit, but I also want to use that as a testimonial, as always. I'm what you call a TI, a target individual. I was put in this program by my employer, right? And on August 19, 2019, things just turned into craziness. My brain changed in the sense that I dealt with, now I deal with V2K. But it started on August 19, 2019. Since that day, I have not thought for myself. Now it's getting worse, right? I understand this is something with time, they go more and more ingrained in your brain, and I noticed that in the way I'm thinking. But they try to push you to accept things that you know is not true, and they do this by forcing you to think a certain way and influence your thoughts in order to make you think that to doubt yourself. Nowadays, I double check things, because I understand that my brain is what they can manipulate me to experience. They can do so much to my brain, and if I'm not careful, I can let that, and they can influence me to think something that is completely off. So that's why I tend to kind of like double double you know double check things on my end, because I'm like, I know they're in my brain and they're gonna influence me to experience or to think in certain ways. Some of the thoughts are obviously the disturbing pedophilia ways and disgusting things that are meant to break you down. Those are the extreme disturbing thoughts. But it consists of all kind of thoughts. If they want me to drink water, if they want me to eat, if they can give me this thought or make me like analyze things in certain ways. Because I'm currently employed, and I think the reason why I was employed is to kind of train, manipulate my brain while I'm working. Try to like, because with time, it gets better. It's machine learning. So they see, okay, this guy, when you analyze things, he look at it at this way, this way, this way, this way. So now they know how to manipulate my way of analyzing things. Right? That's what they do. And so I noticed that, oh, now that's why things are even deeper. I don't even realize, how can you even fool me, influence me to think this way? It doesn't even make sense. For example, and this is for the purpose of creating a false, but I knew something was off. And I had to double check. I was like, oh, I know why you do that. They are truly making themselves winners. In the sense that they make me think a certain ways, knowing it's the wrong way, because then I'm going to find out it's the wrong way, and they'll be like, you see, we won. I'm a winner. It's like, ah. Well, they're creating a reality where they have to cope with things. So, for example, I'm looking at this report, and this is a report. I'm in marketing, and I'm seeing there's a lot of reports, a lot of charts and whatnot. And so you can see why I was probably employed, because they can see how I analyze things like that, right? I'm looking at the reports, and I'm looking at monthly, and I'm sorry for being this is so like specific to my target to me, but I want to explain a little bit of how my brain is just being rewired. Matter of fact, I know my skull is. I was looking at myself like, and I couldn't believe what's going on in my brain. My skull is just changing shapes. So things are happening to my brain, and I have bumps, and I don't know through the mask if you can see it, but you can see like these things here they're not like, it's not naturally there. It was not there a while ago, right? It started happening when I became a target individual. So I know my brain, is just not doing well. So whatever they're doing to my brain, the way they influence my brain is impacting my brain. Somehow my brain is just like inflating. It's just getting bigger somehow. I don't know. And sometimes when they force me to have these disgusting memories, I can see my vein. Like when they make me to have falsified memories, right? and they falsify memories. I can see my vein just like coming out of my head. I can feel my brain just like literally dealing with the way they're implementing these ways of thinking. I understand, but I know my brain is changing. Something's happening. I need maybe to take a look at that. But my skull itself is an appearance. Apparently, something's happening to my brain to the point where skull is changing form. But I'm looking at this report, and I'm looking at the charts, and I'm looking at the chart, and for some reason I'm starting noticing. Oh wow, this report shows that they spend so much more per month. I'm sorry for the I just want to give you an example. So please, with the boredness, deal with this for a second for me, and understand how they then play with your brain. When I look at the monthly reports, I'm seeing that every month there's been a lot of spend, and I'm like, is this spend cumulative? Meaning that is he including of all the spend, and then we show the increase per month, or is it per month? Like specifically the incrementals per month. Right? It's just like some marketing stuff. For some reason, I'm looking at it because it just doesn't make sense that they will spend so much more than what we're spending on our channels. But I'm like, oh wow, they're spending that much. Somehow my brain made sense that this was incrementals per month when it was not. But I was like, that's crazy. And I'm looking at, and I was like, all along this person was talking about our campaigns and stuff like that, but look how much more they're spending. And so they were trying to make me, to trigger me to think this way. Because later on, I find out, and I look again, it's like, that doesn't make sense. Everything is cumulative. Why would that be just monthly incrementals? And I'm looking, and I'm seeing cumulative, and I'm realizing, oh, they were wanting me to think this way, so that I start thinking, why is this person is so focused on my channel when this channel is spending so much more, such a small percentage? And I was like, that is how they influence you to think this way, because now they want to give the credit to this person who is a perp, right? And so they're trying to make her look good or make me look bad and make me think this way. So they're like, oh, you see, that's proof. I'm like, oh, you are playing my brain like that. And I noticed that they do that all the time to try to get you feel doubtful of yourself. But at that point, I was like, oh my gosh, I need to triple check everything. My brain is not right now. They're playing with my brain. Thankfully, not even thankfully, but just for my own sake, I was like, it just didn't make sense. Let me double check. This just doesn't make sense. I couldn't believe that's true. It's like that. It just makes just so much more. Let me double check. And finally, I'm looking. Oh, okay. That's how the things go. My brain is just being forced to think in this way, to think wrong, and then to make me think a certain way and then being right. It's like they want me to have a roller coaster of thoughts.